Hello and welcome back to Sports for Dummies. In today's episode, we have a special for everyone out there. We are doing the team of the 21st century for none other than the Collingwood Football Club. What a season they've got ahead of them, potentially a back-to-back. They've got the ability, an overpowered squad, the ability to take it on and have a dynasty team. So we thought, why not jump into their 21st century and look at their best players for the 22?
Yeah, so we thought we'd do something a little bit different. We're seeing a lot of videos out there, which is good, of who their best 22 is for the 2024 season. So we thought we'd do something different. Me and Josh were having debates, during the week, who was their best 22. And then we sort of got onto a conversation on how does that stack up against, players who have played. And we went deep down the rabbit hole and were like, well, let's break it down to the 21st century and see where it lands us. So hope you enjoy this because we're going to break it down position by position.
And we're going to take you guys in. It's purely going to be it's probably going to be a lot longer than normal. I know all the previews have been about 30 minutes, and it's been really interesting diving into each squad because we've noticed one thing. Collingwood definitely have an overpowered squad right now. They look, as a list, genuinely like they're going to do it again. And that's why we kind of went, you know what? Let's look at their 21st century, break it down. We are going to be going in, showing notes. You'll be able to see exactly what we're going to break down. So we're not just going to display the players that we think. We're going to actually brainstorm and figure out why that player deserves to be there. So let's jump in. Where do we want to start?
I think we work back and just do it, the old football clipboard. Let's start with the back pockets.
All right, cool. So we'll jump in. I'm going to jump in. Everyone's going to be able to see.
It's going to be
take some notes.
A lot less informal.
Yeah, no real. This is going to be, yeah. Did you say a lot less informal?
Yeah.
It is. Yeah. It's more informal.
It's more informal, less informal.
It's a lot less informal. Anyway, guys, we're going to
Better go get my suit and tie.
All right, so we'll jump into let's jump straight into the back pocket.
The back pocket.
Back pocket position. We're going to call it BP.
So
wow.
I think out of the three, there's many names, but I'm gonna throw out three, and then we could add to it. Yep. So you got, I think there's Ben Johnson.
Yep.
Nick Maxwell.
Yep.
And maybe you Pie supporters who are a bit younger, and I know me and Josh were talking about this off air. James Clement.
Yeah, so who's this guy? Like, who is this guy? Because
two-time best and fairest.
Clement without a dash.
Oh no, I say Clements, but it's actually Clement. I googled it. So he's won 2 best and fairest. I thought he'd only won 1. He's actually had 7 top 3 finishes as well. All Australian. No, he wasn't all Australian, but 7 time in the top 3 in the Copeland Trophy.
So you're telling me, and he won the BNF twice.
Twice
as a back pocket.
He could play. So Clement was a weird position where he could play key. So he wasn't short, but he wasn't like a super tall. So he was like that medium to tall. He was really good overhead. He had great skills. Just a good, honest footballer. Be very good today as an intercept player because he was just so strong overhead.
I get you. So I know Maxwell and Johnson.
Yeah.
Maxwell was so good. He was. You know what the funny thing was? He was never the best player ever, but he was such a good captain.
So you had in that era Tom Harley and Nick Maxwell, who were not necessarily the best, not even in the top 10 in terms
of playing.
But
ability.
Nick Maxwell so Collingwood went from Nathan Buckley, who was the ultimate superstar, good skills, good overhead, quick, strong, and then. The talk around him was he wasn't a great leader. He wasn't very approachable. While Nick Maxwell had not even 100th of his capabilities, but he had all the leadership qualities. And Nick Maxwell was really one of those first. We talk about intercept players now. Intercept marking is obviously massive, in the game today. Nick Maxwell was like that third man defender up. He wasn't good one-on-one. He wasn't quick. His skills weren't great, but he was just good as that. He would help the defense out, and he just had good leadership and really good strategy.
Now, Johnson, talk me through
Ben Johnson looked weird. Like he waddled when he moved. Like he didn't look quick, but he barely got. I guess I never really saw him get tackled a lot. His skills weren't great, but I didn't see him turn it over all that much. But when he would just find space, he was a smart footballer, and he knew how to like move his body where he could arch a tackle. And he had a really long kick on him, like from 50, 55. He was deadly. And that was the thing. He plays back pocket, but he could play on the half back line. He could play on the I guess, the wing, half forward line. It's an interesting one. Who would go?
Let's do the process of elimination.
Okay.
Obviously, Clement, based on what you're telling me, 2-time BNF.
I think Clement has to be there.
Pocket, he has to be there.
I feel like he has to be there.
I'm looking. Johnson doesn't like. You're gonna
get rid of Johnson. Gone.
Yeah. So it's now a matter of Maxwell or Clement.
There's two back pockets.
Okay, yeah, this is true.
He's thrown.
You've thrown the curveball. Yeah, I just realised
We've added another position on the board.
Wow. Okay, well, so I mean, just Maxwell you look at it from the team standpoint though, Maxwell's going to be an influence.
Can we put him on the bench then?
So you're saying you would rather have
Ben Johnson I'd rather have Clement in there and then Ben Johnson who can run with the ball.
Let me write him back on.
I love how he's got the sack.
Oh, that was good. Johnson, Maxwell, Clement. All right, Clement is definitely solidifying a spot. It's now out of Maxwell and Johnson where whoever starts. So you're saying to me these three, you reckon Maxwell gets the bench?
If he makes the bench, those two were better footballers.
Let's put.
Nick Maxwell can be on the coaching staff.
Fair enough.
I know it's blasphemous because he was Collingwood captain. Johnson. And they can't speak highly enough about him. But if we're talking about pure what they could do, I'm not having Maxwell on there.
Fair enough. All right, so we've got Johnson and Clement in the back pockets. Okay. So is Maxwell a definite bench?
He's not a definite bench. He's not a definite bench, but he's not on the side.
Okay. So far you can see the back pockets, Johnson, Clement.
I like it.
Now we're going to we'll get rid of that. And we're going to put that. And what we're going to do, we're going to call this page the bench players.
Potential bench players. Bench players.
There's a big maybe on that
one.
We
can give him a job as a coach.
Okay, valid
assistant
point.
Coach.
Okay.
Because he's not the coach.
No, he's definitely.
We'll get to that. We'll get to that.
All right, then obviously you've got the infamous fullback. The most arguably, one of the hardest
three
positions.
True fullbacks. We're going 3 true fullbacks. So I'm going to go Shane Wakelin, who was, he was the fullback in there when they made the grand finals 2002, 2003.
Yep.
I was just watching highlights how Lynch ripped him apart, so that didn't really hurt his case. Prestigy Como could play centre half back, was a back pocket fullback.
You know what? We're calling him Como for this one.
We're calling him Como?
Como. I'll figure it out after.
And then you had Nathan Brown.
Yeah, Brown.
So none of them were in today's game. They were the old school defenders, yeah? Like really good one-on-one. They would stop opponents. I thought Shane Wakelin had a bit more dash.
So when did Wakelin play?
90s, early 2000s.
Okay, so I don't remember him.
Presti was in the same era.
So I remember Presti.
Because of his name.
Presti.
You remember his name?
So I remember.
Do you remember him?
Yeah, he had the dark hair.
I think they all have dark hair on this one.
So I remember Nathan Brown. That's an easy one to remember.
Well, he was 2010 fullback.
He was a lockdown. He was very, very good.
So they were all very good. They were more the game's so different now where I guess players have more offensive weapons. Like they have to have more offensive weapons.
But we need to factor that into their best 22 for the 21st century.
Are we? Is that how we're doing this?
Yes, we got to factor it in right now. How would they perform if we could choose this squad and position it together.
Well, I felt Shane Wakelin had a bit more dash than Prestige Como.
Is that good for your fullback?
What, to be able to actually move?
You need a move.
You're talking today's game. I mean, Presti was, if you want to just lock down defender, that's all he does.
Yeah, that's true.
Like you said, today's game, and you know, then maybe we give it to Nathan Brown, but I just felt the other two had a longer career.
Well, I would think Nathan Brown gets the fullback.
We're going to go Nathan Brown, okay?
I don't think Wakelin, but I don't know Wakelin. This is what I'm saying. Like, how good was he compared to those two?
He was the starting fullback.
Yeah, that's great.
In the two grand final sides, in 02 and 03.
Okay.
He was the one who lined up on Lynch.
Okay. What about Como?
So Como could play. He played fullback. He's a bit of back pocket, but he was a centre half back.
So is he up for contention in the centre half back?
I'm not putting him with the two that we have.
Okay.
That I've thought of.
So what you're telling me is Como's got the scrap.
Como's got the scrap.
Because he's not even a bench player at this rate.
I don't. It's going to be hard for him. But no.
Sack him.
Put him on the potential bench.
Right.
No one else is there.
All right. Como. Mate, this list is just... Sorry for the handwriting, everyone. This is some poor form, but it's quite funny. Wakelin and Brown. So who are we choosing? I personally, I would go Nathan Brown because I know him as a player.
That's not a good argument.
Wakelin, though. This is my problem. I don't know Wakelin.
But okay, so this is where the older viewers,
the
more mature viewers would be like, well, just because you don't know doesn't mean he deserves to be fucking scrapped.
So that's why I need your guidance. I need you to educate me like I'm an absolute sports for dummy.
Nathan Brown did play in a premiership side.
That's what I'm trying to say. He was a good player.
And I just watched Shane Wakelin
get torn apart by Jonathan Brown.
Alistair Lynch.
Alistair Lynch, sorry.
Fine, we'll go Nathan Brown.
Wakelin gets he definitely gets a jersey over it.
Well, let's just put him on the list and we can pick him from there.
Hold on, this list can't be too big, mate.
Well, we're taking it from the players who didn't make it, so he's not gone.
All right, nah, he's gone. I've sacked him.
Well, he's not on the side.
Gone. All right, we said Brown, yeah. I think I've spelled that wrong. Oh no, we got it right. All right, that leads us to the half-back position, which is, well, that's arguably one of the most important positions on the ground.
So here's some names. So Heath Shaw.
Okay, just wait. Half-back.
Heath Shaw.
Yep, a half-back. Heath Shaw.
Harry O'Brien.
Shaw. Harry O'Brien. He was so good.
Harry O'Brien was good. That's why he's on this list.
It's always one. Anyway.
Throwback Ryan Loney. And I'm going to throw someone out there who doesn't play halfback, but he should. Collingwood would win every grand final if they made this decision. Nick Dacos.
N. Dacos.
So we can pick two.
So Heath Shaw
was a great runner. Wasn't always the greatest kick, but he was just tough.
He was a hard, yeah.
He was tough. That defensive effort. Do we have that? Do we have his smother on Nick Riewoldt in the replay grand final?
Yes, bear with me. Let's cut it in, guys. Well, let's have a watch of this. This is one of the best of all time. This
would have kick-started the Saints.
Yeah.
Nick Riewoldt's their best player, and Heath Shaw just comes in from nowhere.
That was one of the... We needed that meme where it's like, out of nowhere.
It was... Mate, he was good. So he was an offensive halfback, but he did the dirty work as well. Did the one percenters. He spoiled. He smothered. He 2 All-Australian jumpers.
I don't know how we can go past Shaw on one of the halfbacks.
Ooh, we haven't gone gone through who else we've got.
So I don't actually think so. If you were going to
So we got Harry O'Brien.
Harry O'Brien
for a few years there was great. He had some dash, could hit the scoreboard, and then you had Ryan Loney.
But O'Brien was good as well. He's a very good lockdown defender. He could play very well 1-on-1. But he had that dash.
But he was more that one off. You know, give some run off. They played in the same premiership side.
Yeah.
Ryan Loney, if we're talking about generally running, he was quicker than them both. And he could kick the goal. He kicked a goal from 70 metres. The Loney boys had beautiful, beautiful left foots.
Mm.
And there could be recency bias.
So I don't think I just don't think they're as good as Ndakos, O'Brien, and Shaw.
Ndakos, this is where the spanner is.
That's because he's not really playing that halfback.
He's more of a midfielder.
Yeah,
of course he's a midfielder. If he, though, you watch how Nick Dacos plays, because he cops criticism a lot that he just gets the easy ball.
Nah.
Don't know, but that's the criticism he gets. Let me explain. He gets the easy ball. That guy plays it like it's chess. Like he'll do little 10, 15 metre passes, but he's always looking for that angle to get the receive, to open it up. Can you imagine him in today's game, since you mentioned today's game, which he plays... Him off the half-back line with his skills.
100%. We can't give him the spot, though, because he doesn't play it.
Are we picking on merit or our best side? Because I'm picking my best side. I'm putting Nick Dacos over all of them. Even though he's midfielder. I reckon he'd be the greatest half-backman of all time.
So I agree. I don't disagree with that. But I think from a lock and I think from a... Like, Dacos can obviously go in the midfield somewhere. Or...
Of course he could.
Yeah, I'm just starting to think about who else is going to be there too.
Strong,
and then I know what you're saying.
It's a very strong midfield.
I know that's what I'm trying to say. Could you be wasting a position there? But, you look at Shaw, O'Brien and Loney, Dacos in that position is going to be better.
I think it would fit.
You know what?
Let's pick one of them. Let's put Dacos to the side. Let's pick one. I think Heath Shaw. From all that conversation, we're going to put Heath Shaw. I think that's a consensus. Heath Shaw. Do you know what? We're going to leave the other half back and come back to it. Let's park it.
Okay, I like that.
We'll park it.
What we'll do, we'll give him the tick of approval and we will flirt with the idea on the other ones. Let's go on to we're in the centre half back, aren't we?
Yeah. So they got really two names for this.
I mean, and it's in my opinion, it's a no-brainer. I mean, you've got Ben Reid, Darcy Moore.
Well, they're both premiership players and they're both all Australians.
I think Moore has more of an impact as the captain. As time has gone on, he's only gotten better. And he's a very good intercept. He's just great for the culture in their team. I think he can lead them a lot further than what Reid could. In terms of my best 22, obviously Reid's he's done a very good career, but I just think...
So Ben Reid, what hurts him is that like 210, 211, like he was really hitting his stride.
Yeah.
But then he got a lot of injuries. We never saw the best of Ben Reid.
Yeah.
Not even close. Darcy Moore, though, Darcy Moore's career is fascinating because his father's Peter Moore, who won 2 Brownlows at 2 different clubs, Collingwood and Melbourne. Darcy Moore started as a forward.
Yep, I remember.
Went back, then he's gone back. I've never seen... You know, we talk about clutch. A player who kicks clutch goals, clutch moments. Darcy Moore as a defender has more clutch moments. And I'm talking in terms of... For example, go watch last year's Anzac Day game. Essendon were on top. The marks that Darcy Moore took when Essendon looked like they were going to actually run away with it and kept Collingwood in the game or stopped Essendon from kicking another goal is invaluable. I generally reckon he's actually Collingwood's most important player because they can lose a couple of those midfielders. They lose Darcy Moore.
They're done.
It
Not
hurts
done,
him, but it hurts him a lot more.
Yeah.
And I think with that, we go Darcy Moore.
I agree. Reed, you're out. He's not even he has to get the bench. He has to get the bench player.
Well, he gets to go. He gets contention for the potential bench player.
Reed. Man, this list is just
I don't know why that sounds so funny. Reed.
All right, I'm going to put him in. So put Darcy Moore. When do we want to jump back into more perfect? That's become this is a good looking squad so far.
It's a good side.
It's looking good. Hopefully, anyone, please, if you are watching, jump in, please comment, but make sure we just want to make sure you can actually see. And you need to actually watch this because it's we're displaying the team as we go and jumping in and out of our own screen. So let's jump into, we need to solidify the half back. Or do you want to come into
I want to come back to that
later?
one.
All right, let's go into the wingman.
All right, so these players that we can put in. Side bottom.
So wing, gee, what a good player. What a absolute gem.
And the thing with a lot of these players is that they can play multiple, especially in the modern game. Like a lot of people get played in different positions.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm not going to put Pendlebury on the wing here.
No.
But he's made the All-Australian side twice on the wing because how the All-Australian side do it, they pretty much pick their midfield and then the wings and half forwards pretty much go to midfielders.
Yeah.
But I'm not putting him into this.
He's not a genuine wingman. He's a midfielder. In either the centre or he's in the ruck. He's actually in that position. So it's not, he doesn't play the wing that much. He does sometimes, but not often. So side bottom?
Side bottom, Daisy Thomas.
Oh, that's a good one.
He had a sensational little period there where he was as good. He was as good as any at Collingwood.
He was.
Paul Licuria for the old heads. He won 2 best and fairest, 2 Copeland trophies in the early 2000s.
I do remember Licuria.
And then and that's in the side with Nathan Buckley. And then you got Josh Dacos, who I think is arguably the best wingman in the comp.
Well, he has to be. He won
best
the BNF.
best and fairest in the premiership side.
Well, can we solidify one of those names then, based on that?
The problem with
This is hard.
is it's been 3 years.
I know, and you can't.
So Josh and Nick walk into this side. If we're talking pure talent, they walk in on it.
This is what I mean, and I think right now, into that, you would go Dacos over Thomas and Licuria and side bottom. I would.
Say that again.
I would go Dacos over all those 3 right now. Side bottom's a jet. I would think that Thomas is actually going to... Thomas and Licuria... I feel like, Daisy's going to get the...
Daisy's best is better than side bottoms.
That's what I'm saying. No, I agree. So I actually think side bottom's got the last vote for me on this wingman spot.
Side bottom over Licuria. Interesting.
No. I'm saying...
So I think, unanimously...
Thomas, Licuria, and Dacos.
So unanimously Josh Dacos?
Yeah.
Okay, we'll put Josh Dacos on this side.
Put Dacos in. J. Dacos. Hopefully that displays right. Don't think it did. Anyone who's watching, you can clearly see, you know what? Write it out. There we go. J. Dacos. I hope I've spelt that right. So he's done. He's a lock. Now, this is hard.
Can we go to career? I want to bring up. I'm going to go.
Yeah, bring career.
I want to bring up actually achievements here because this isn't as easy as I thought it would be.
So this is the part. So side bottom for me.
Okay.
Trusty left and right.
I think talent wise, Steele side bottom and Daisy Thomas are better than Paul Licuria. If we're talking on as a footballer, Still side bottom.
Talent,
Can
100%.
Go,
Yeah.
He can go right or
Hard
left.
worker. Lucuria was a fucking monster.
Okay, so still side bottoms. He's won 2 flags. He's an All-Australian, 2-time best and fairest.
Okay.
Gary Ayres Award, and we mentioned this in another one. So Gary Ayres Award is the best player of a final series.
Okay.
We're five
When
coaches.
did he win that?
So he won that in 2018 when they lost to West Coast. He's an Anzac Day medalist, and in 2 times he was in the best under 22. That's a fair achievement. All right, let's go Paul Lucuria. Oh, also, how many goals has he kicked? 190 goals in 309 games, and he's still going strong. Paul Lucuria.
He wasn't the most naturally looking gifted footballer.
Paul Lucuria won 2 best and fairests.
How many did side bottom?
2.
Okay.
So if we're going,
And then you're going to go on accolades. I mean, he's won the 2 premierships. How many did?
and then
Lucuria?
who do we think's better talent wise?
Side
Okay,
bottom.
so I think Lucuria.
Okay.
I think we're going to get rid of Lucuria here.
Can Lucuria get an absolute sack from the whole bench player?
No, just put him on the potential. Just give him hope. Give him hope. Don't sack them. We can go through the bench players again. Like, that's the thing.
I love that. Give him hope. Apologies for the spelling, by the way, guys. I hope this is okay.
This is going to be easy.
Okay, so we're getting rid of Lucuria here. I think Daisy.
Daisy's won All-Australian team. It's just that that year in 2010. Okay, let me get what he achieved in 2010.
You know what? Fuck it. In my opinion, based on Thomas and Sidebottom's consistency and ability has been 10 times better than Thomas. And that matters more in a team than anything, in my opinion. I think Thomas, you could look at it and go, yep, Thomas could definitely get in on his one great year.
Yeah, let's go Steele.
I think it's fair to put Sidebottom in that.
It's good names, but when you break it down, I think that's easy.
Yeah. Sidebottom in. That's a good addition. In my opinion, that's the right addition. I was looking at it going, shit. Now, that brings us to the question. Who gets the centre?
No, Nathan Buckley. It's not even a question. I'm not debating that. Nathan Buckley.
All right, we're going to bring up...
He's arguably the best player who's ever put on a Collingwood jumper.
All right.
Watch this guy on a grand final.
Oh, wow.
Go watch highlights from 2003. Nathan Buckley, I reckon, from 60 metres was one of the most deadly midfielders to ever play a game. He was good overhead. He was strong. His skills were sublime. He was an ultimate professional. Only knock on him was leadership.
You know,
but it definitely wasn't from example. It was more the fig jam, what people thought of him. He's centre.
Yep.
Not close. That's not close. I don't want to have that conversation.
It's not even a conversation. All right. Then we'll go into... Let's jump into the half forward flank.
This one was hard. Well, there's one lock.
Wait, just give me the options.
Well, there's 3 players, really. And when I think about it, one sounds silly. One of them, Nick Davis.
So Davis, yeah.
And the Jordan De Goey.
Oh.
And Alan Didak.
That is definitely...
Alan Didak, two All-Australian jumpers on the half-forward line.
Nah, mate,
He's one of the most mercurial players I've ever seen. That guy, and I know there's Dacos people called Dacos. Alan Didak was one of the closest things to Peter Dacos, the original, that I've ever seen.
So can
we get his highlights, please?
Yes, I'll bring them up. Bear with me. I think you've solidified someone there that I think you can.
What he did was insane. He could make something out of nothing. He was a wizard. He could also go in the midfield.
He was a genuine wizard.
He could also go in the midfield and rack up 30 touches. I mean, you want to hear... So, he's won a best and fairest 2 times All-Australian. He was their leading goal kicker in their premiership side. As a small forward. He could kick the ball a mile.
Mate,
He had good defensive pressure when he needed to.
He was also very good... just the way he moved, and he's
Super
footy smart. Yeah,
because he wasn't overly quick.
No, he wasn't.
He wasn't the quickest, but he kind of looked
but
like
he was agile.
Collingwood supporters know this, and I'm really annoyed. Okay, watch this goal. In a final against Brisbane, who they could never beat, and I hope they have the next one.
Yeah,
he kicked 2 goals against Brisbane from the pocket.
How good was this? I remember. Oh, on his opposite. Just fucking...
2 goals against Brisbane in a qualifying final, and they had never beaten them in a final. After they'd lost to them in the granny, lost to them twice in that year, he kicks 2 pearlers on the boundary line. He just knew his moment. Kicked a big goal in 2010 granny. Kicked a couple, actually.
He was very good at selling the dummy.
He was smart. He's one of the smartest footballers.
Yeah.
Him and Steve Johnson, probably one of the smartest, because they played a
very
similar, both different styles, but as that creative forward. I think he's a lock.
What I have done, I've put him as a lock. Definitely, he's already in the team.
And I think between Nick I think De Goey goes straight in.
Yeah, when you gave me Davis, I was like, he's an absolute...
Well, I was trying to think of...
he's not shit.
Collingwood supporters...
De Goey.
Well, and Davis I remember more from Sydney.
Yeah, no, I agree.
4 goals in the last quarter against Geelong. Collingwood supporters, if there's any half forwards that I missed, please drop them in, because I would be interested to know. They're the ones that came to mind. But I think Jordan De Goey, he's like that. He's you said it on the last... I get one of the videos we did, that he's very close to Martin. Not saying he's as good as Martin, but he can go in the midfield. He's got that X factor. He kicked an amazing goal in the grand final. I want him on my side.
100%. He's got that flair. This is a bloody good team. Like, this is looking really good so far.
It's a good team.
Let's get the half forward. Let's get let's get our whole team, and then we'll go into the following and the coach and the bench. But let's get our whole team, and then we'll go through it.
So we've done the half forward.
No, we got the centre half forward. We need to put in.
So this is going to be this was a hard one for me.
There's 2
names.
Wait, just let me just put Davis.
Nick Davis, you can get rid of him.
He's gone.
He's not
even a potential bench.
Nah, he's not on the bench.
He's got the full sack.
He's not on the bench.
What about what did we do on the wing? Okay. I actually don't even think I put these other guys there on the wing. No, I put Lucuria. I didn't put Thomas. We want to put Thomas, don't we? On potential bench players.
Absolutely.
Okay. Just bear with me, guys. I just don't want to make this... Thomas. This is going to be a good looking bench list, I'll be honest. Like, very good. All right, centre half forward. Who we got?
So there's 2 names.
Yeah, I was going to say, there's not many.
Anthony Rocker, Travis Cloak, and a third. I'm not. He's a really good honest player. My check, but no, it's those 2. It's those 2. Don't disrespect my check. Don't disrespect my check. To those 2, no. So they were interesting. So they kicked very similar amount of goals.
So that was a harsh thing on my check, but I just...
Very good honest player.
Yes, very, very... He reminds...
He's a C-grade Nick Riewoldt. Not an insult. The guy runs all day. You just can't impact the game as well as Nick Riewoldt, but he's a superstar and he's a key forward in a premiership side.
You can't discount him. I'm not discounting him.
him.
No, by no means. But Rocker and Cloak, just different caliber. But also differently, how their team plays.
Anthony Rocker so they both kicked similar amount of goals. Travis Cloke a little bit more. Anthony Rocker was a much better kick. It's not close. Do we have highlights of Rocker?
Oh, unfortunately, we do, Johnny.
We do. This guy could kick it 70, 75 metres, drop punt. And he did it on the biggest stage. Look at how mobile he is. That's a 90s. That's an forward, just trouncing through the ground.
Him and his brother were just fucking crazy. The Torps. Remember Sav at the end of his career?
Well, Anthony was more the Torps. Sav went to the NFL.
He was a punter, wasn't he?
Yeah.
Yeah. This is what I mean. Like, these guys.
And Anthony was a big-time player. Okay, so this is a 75-metre.
Fuck.
Like, it's insane. This one was huge. This is on Subi, the longest ground.
Whoa.
Like, he mungled that. Like, he kicked that wrong. One step. Well, this was a different type of goal. This showed mobility for a big guy that didn't think he had. He was a big-time performer, and he was so deadly in front of goal. Then you've got Travis Cloke, who for a few years was leading contestant marks in the AFL, and he kicked 69 and 68 goals twice. Rocker never kicked that at Collingwood in the 2000s. But Rocker was I thought when Collingwood were then 2010 when they won the grand final, they made a few prelims before then. 2011 they got beaten by Geelong. I thought Cloke was arguably the most valuable player in the comp because of the position he played. Because we can admit centre half forward back in the day was the most important position.
It very well was. I've muted myself there. Sorry, guys.
So who do you pick there?
Well, they're very different players.
They both led the goal kicking 4 times.
I guess
Cloke was a 2-time All-Australian.
In today's game,
Cloke's like Mackay.
I was going to say he's Mackay. Yeah, and he gets the yips too. He had the yips for a bit there, and that's why I remember him wearing the glove. Glove's still legal in the AFL? Can you wear a glove? Like, why would you wear a glove?
Remember he double gloved? You had to get a medical.
He double gloved. I remember one game. Very odd.
It was an outrage. It was a scandal.
Well,
but Rocker had massive finals moments. He kicked 4 goals in a granny against Brisbane, and he kicked a famous point, which they all said was a goal, but the points were very low in 2002. And then he was famously rubbed out for the 2003. Was a big reason why they lost. What are you thinking, Josh?
So I watch more of Cloke. And I know you can't bring it back to that. How many goals did they kick each?
Okay, so
you said it was
Cloke kicked 400. I need you to get a calculator out now because we're going to do.
Yep, let's do it.
So Cloke at Collingwood kicked 441 goals.
Yep.
And he kicked 360 points. It's not going well.
This is not going well.
We're actually trialing out something on this one, guys. So
that's not working. All
okay.
Right. What do you?
Okay.
So you said you've got to if you.
I'll do it. I just didn't want to do it on here.
If you're still watching, guys, appreciate the support. Please comment how you're finding this so far. It is a very new experiment. We thought we would literally dive into how we would do our research to design this best team. We didn't just want to reveal it and show it. We really wanted to break it down. We want to bring you on the journey. We want to bring you through the experience.
It's an interesting, I guess,
viewpoint.
Like calculating, a best side. So Remember, this doesn't count on the fulls either because Cloak has a lot of them. So 441 goals and from... Okay, so that's 440... This is where I'm screwing up.
So Cloak was a very... I mean, they're both such good players.
So Cloak at Collingwood was kicking at 55%, which is a lot better than what I'd actually think. Anthony Rocker, though...
If they've both got the same accolades, then it does come back to...
But Travis Cloak has all Australian jumpers.
Rocker doesn't?
No. Anthony Rocker doesn't have all Australian...
but who was in his era? Who was playing against him?
We had Jonathan Brown. But Travis Cloak was the person. This is the thing. Like, we can say who was playing in his era, but like Cloak was the person and Brown played in those eras too.
Yeah.
Ironically, they both played for one. They kicked in.
Cloak was a gun. Like, I do think back to it. The way he was... Him and Favola. I remember that era. That was a very good time.
Well, Rocker was playing in there too, my friend.
I know. But I just didn't feel like he was as good then because I think he was coming out of his career towards the end.
This is taken 452, so 656. So Rocker's kicking at 63%. I generally think, though, Cloak for those 2 years, that 2-3 year period where Collingwood were awesome, was the most important player in the league. I never thought Rocker was that, but Rocker has better finals moments.
Well, then you have... When you're going from a clutch standpoint, Rocker in the finals.
Cloak played in a premiership, though.
But how many did he score?
He never kicked 4 like Rocker did.
And he didn't have...
This is a hard one, guys, and I am going to... Because I am very torn. I'm super torn here because I think Cloak was probably better at his best. I do think that too. But Rocker, like the stats aren't too far away.
Oh, this is hard.
Let's put a pin in that one. We'll come back.
Okay. Well, what I'm going to do, I'm going to put question mark.
It's difficult.
It's difficult.
It's difficult. So we've got 2 pins.
Yeah, we've got two that we don't know, like the halfback and the centre half forward. Now let's jump into the forward pocket position because that should be a pretty interesting one. That's actually going to be quite hard too. Well, it's very hard. Leon Davis.
There's 3. Well, there's kind of 2. Leon Davis and Paul Medhurst. Paul Medhurst made an All-Australian side at Collingwood when he was there, but Leon Davis was just magical.
Let me bring up.
Leon Davis was magical.
Talent.
Actually, it's not even a question. Leon Davis goes straight in.
You know what? You're right. So you said Medhurst. And who else did we have in there, Johnny?
Well, I had Nick Dacos. But I don't know if I like my answer.
You had Nick Dacos.
Nick Davis.
Nick Davis, yeah. And
look at Leon Davis. Look at this.
Yeah, oh, mate. The guy...
And in his last year with the Pies, he was one of the best half-backmen in the league. Unfortunately, he had horrible grand final performances until his last one that they lost. This guy was a magician.
He's a lock.
We're going Leon Davis.
He's a lock. He's a lock. It's not even up for conversation. L. Davis.
Jeez, we've missed Jamie. Are we keeping Jamie Elliott off this? Let's add him in for the mix. Jamie Elliott has to be there. He has to go. He has to walk right in, doesn't he? It's a very small forward line, though. That's okay. They play small ball anyway. Jamie Elliott.
Yeah, you can't.
Jamie Elliott goes in. Him or Medhurst?
Nah. So
You got to go Jamie Elliott. Clutch.
I was going to say, from
Mr.
a clutch
Clutch.
standpoint,
Mr. Clutch.
yeah. Yeah, you can't even. It's not even it's actually not even a discussion. Now, are we going to put Medhurst or Davis on the bench players?
Yeah, just throw him on for now.
Both of them. So we'll tick what we'll do. Davis, Elliott.
Davis was on the half forward. Yeah, just throw him in. We can all load it. But Jamie Elliott goes right in.
You mean?
So Leon Davis, Jamie Elliott, forward pocket.
Yeah. Elliott.
Mr. Clutch. Man, he's hurt Essendon. He's hurt Carlton.
What's crazy is how many players are there from their current squad right now. Obviously, you got Buckley, Shaw,
Well,
Johnson.
playing in a premiership side, that helps. It's got to give you... Imagine if we did this for Brisbane. We just may as well pick up...
Their
pick
whole
from the
premiership list.
Just pick up from the grand finals and tell me
Yeah,
who
true.
deserves to be there.
Very true.
May as well just pick the 2002 grand final side.
All right, so we'll put...
A premiership gives you, and it shouldn't, but like if you've got to choose between them, pick premiership.
Yeah.
We haven't had to do that.
No. So Davis, Davis and Medhurst go to the bench. N Davis, Medhurst. Sorry, Johnny. We love this. All right. Now we jump into who gets full forward.
This was the hardest one. Because I never really have had a clear full forward. Like they have, but not like a dominant full forward.
Yeah.
So it came to mind, I had Chris Dawes, who was sort of that second option to Cloak. And then in those, when they made the grand finals, Chris Tarrant, who arguably ended his career as a superstar key defender. But Chris Tarrant was fantastic. He's one of the best. We will put those highlights in. He's taken arguably the greatest mark I've ever seen in 2003, round 17 against Geelong at Telstra as it was. Chris Tarrant's leaping ability, and he kicked 50 a few times. Who else did you have? Yeah, I mean, you had Jack Anthony as like a key full forward. I think personally, Chris Dawes was there as a second option. I actually reckon it's Chris Tarrant. If we're having position integrity, I'm picking Chris Tarrant.
Yeah. I was going to say it's not even a conversation.
Look at his marks. Like, just enjoy the marks.
He's a
The little rev I gave Chris obviously before half-time still ringing in his ears. Great play there.
Well, at least keep themselves within touch. They need to get another couple. They've got 3 minutes to do it in. Oh, what a big grab from Tarrant.
He had so many different type of grabs too. Like you could mark it at a tie's point. He took huge chest marks. And it's amazing what we talk about two-way players. Like he ended his career, and we can do a video on that. Who are the best two-way players? He ended his career as a top defender, but look at that grab. That would have got Mark of the Year if it wasn't for Gary Moorcroft. They were literally saying that's the best mark of the year. Like they were announcing it. And that was a chest mark. He just jumped over everyone.
Well, news just in from London. The Royal Decree has it that this is definitely the mark of the year. Haven't seen anybody up that high for some time, Dennis. That is a cracker.
Jeez, he's taken a few against Melbourne in these ones, and they're all different games too.
Tarrant's a definite lock. Like
I think we got to pick Tarrant. It feels weird though, because that feels like on the position that's the weakest position.
yeah. Well,
Like out of all them, I felt very. I mean, we've got to go back to 2,
all right, I'm just gonna put that there.
but we're gonna put Tarrant at full forward.
I don't think Dawes goes on the bench.
No,
I honestly
No, he
don't
doesn't.
think-
No, he doesn't. No, he
from
doesn't.
From looking at look at the bench at the moment, and you don't need another key full forward. Like, why would you put two key forwards, full forwards on the bench?
No, you
Like
could.
one on the bench.
One breaks down.
You
We've gone
play a
very.
pivotal-
We've
you play an adaptable player.
We've gone very small
I was
in
gonna
the
say
pockets.
that
Do you know
is a
what? Just put him
small-
on the potential bench, and we'll have a look at it. Just have a look at it. You could be a coach with Maxwell.
So okay, what we're going to have to do.
We've got to do the rucks.
No.
I thought you were going
I
to
think
go.
we need to figure out okay, I'll break down the team. So this is
Can
currently
we
who
pick the
got.
ruck?
Currently,
Okay.
Johnson, Brown, Clement. That's who has the back pocket and the full back position. Then you've got Shaw on the halfback, Moore at centre halfback. And then we don't know who the other halfback is. You've got Dacos and side bottom on the wing, Buckley taking the centre position.
It's a solid centre line.
You've got Didak and Degoe on the half forward
Centre
flanks.
forward. I feel like centre forward is such an important position.
And out of Rocker and
As I said, Cloak's
it's-
best, I felt like, was the most valuable player in the game. But Rocker's clutch, and he's a better kick.
Davis, Elliott, that is a ridiculous
Cloak's
team.
kicking hurts me.
Okay, well, that's the answer, I guess. If we're going to go from
Cloak has one of them is on the bench. Well, at least potential bench.
do we want to lock it in then?
We're gonna lock in
Okay,
Rocker.
actually, you know what? No. Okay,
I think
I wanted to marinate on it just a little bit.
one of best and fairest and to all Australians. I think we have to go Cloak. But one was like a 10% better kick, and the goals weren't too bad.
Well, that's a big freaking thing. Like if you're kicking a bag of 6 and you're missing 10%, you're almost missing like. You know what I mean? Like it's a big miss.
I get it. All right, go to the half-back line. Can we go to the ruck? Let's go to ruck. We haven't picked the rucks.
Wait, our halfback. Let's just review. Halfback, we've locked in Dacos, which was a big call. We had Ryan Loney.
Hang on, we've locked in
Harry
Heath Shaw.
O'Brien.
We've locked in Heath Shaw. Heath Shaw's the lock.
Didn't we lock in Nick
No,
Dacos?
Heath Shaw is the only he's the lock. That's a mistake. Sorry, guys.
My
Heath
bad,
Shaw
guys.
is definitely the lock. He was the lock, and then we were picking.
And then it was out of O'Brien, Loney, and Dacos.
I'm
Nick
going Nick Dacos now. Just
Wait,
thinking
wait.
about it.
Wait, hold up. Nick Dacos isn't even in the freaking squad, guys.
Nick
He
Dacos.
has to be.
Nick Dacos goes on the half-back line. Now, again, I'm going to reiterate this. I know he's a midfielder. He should be Collingwood's half-back. And you see how he plays. He's going on the half-back line. His skills are so good. He would be that quarterback, the way that his little chip passes that he gets criticised for, absolutely brilliant. He sets it up.
All right, Nick. Apparently my... don't you love when it doesn't want to spell for you? That is now... Well, he's the general. He knows. He can see a play before it even happens.
I know I might cop criticism for that, for not putting him in there, but you'll understand why when you see our followers. Because it's a strong side to get in.
Ryan
And let's
okay.
maximise this.
Harry O'Brien, does he go on the bench as potential?
Put them both on, because I'd actually like to have a look at them. I just think Ryan Loney's probably not as good as them, but I just wanted to give him some credit. Like, he's run and dash. He could kick from everywhere. He was just an exciting player to watch.
Okay, so that has... The only thing we need to figure out is, out of Rocker and Cloak. You said Cloak.
I think we got to go Cloak.
I think we do.
I think we got to go Cloak. This is the hardest one.
We're going to do it.
I just feel like they kicked that. Rocker had better. I don't feel good about this decision. Rocker's 10% it's a big thing. 10% better kicker. And don't tell me he couldn't win. He couldn't monster players now.
Okay, question mark's still going to stay there. We're going to move on. We're going to keep going. We're going to progress.
Yeah.
We're going to go into who is going to play their ruckman. Who's the ruck?
Okay, so so there's 3 options from looking at it. Josh Fraser, who was the number 1 pick in 99. Probably didn't live up to the hype that they all wanted, but he kicked 3 goals in a granny. Darren Jolly, who didn't play at Collingwood for very long, but he was good. He was their ruckman in a premiership side, and he won a premiership at Sydney, so we know he's battle hardened.
Yep.
And then you got Grundy, who probably on paper is the best one there, and he was an All-Australian, and it was always between him and Gawn, who I think Gawn was always All-Australian above him, but Grundy was very much like he was getting possessions, not just a ruckman. But I want to win games of footy. I almost want to go Darren Jolly.
Grundy.
I think Fraser's out.
Yeah, I was just looking at that. I don't think it's...
I think, and the reason I say that is because...
doesn't get a bench place. I'm sorry.
Look, it's probably... In terms of who was at Collingwood for the longest and who gave a lot to the club, you're probably going between Fraser and Grundy. But Jolly wasn't there for a long period of time, but he won a flag. And he's won one at Sydney.
But would have Grundy won?
Grundy was awesome, but he was second fiddle to Gawn, which isn't an insult. And Grundy definitely gets more of the ball. Like he's another midfielder. But something annoys me about Grundy is when he went for that max contract, he then left to Melbourne. He's now at Sydney. We're trying to win a premiership. All the marbles, one game. I think I'm going Jolly.
Okay.
Tap ruckman, handy.
You know what? For the team that we've selected, it works. I'll tell you why. Because when you've got such good talent, you don't need a ruckman who needs the ball.
But and Darren Jolly's a great tap ruckman.
He didn't need the ball. He could take a mark in the forward line if he needed to kick a goal, but he
did what he needed to do. He's a 2-time premiership player.
You didn't need him to take the game on like Grundy kind of does.
Like Fraser's done more in big games than Grundy has. Grundy is a much better player than Josh Fraser was. Fraser was very mobile though. Don't ever forget that. Like people who just started supporting, in the last 5 years, Fraser was absolute beast. Probably didn't live up to what everyone thought he was going to be, but he could move. Grundy is he's another midfielder. I think if we're going premierships, we're going Darren Jolly.
Yep, we're going Darren Jolly. He's getting that position. Now, the fun part for me, who gets Ruck Rover and who gets Rover? Do you reckon it's even a choice?
So this is where Josh Dacos is thrown in.
Josh?
And this is why I want him.
Isn't Josh on the wing?
Nick. Sorry,
Nick.
guys. Nick. Oh, we've given him... This is why we put Nick Dacos... One of the reasons I got him on the half-back line.
Well, because
we've got 2 stars here. Is this Dane Swan or Pendles?
This is Dacos.
Oh, we're going back to... what a star.
I was going to say...
What a star. We know what a star he is, but...
He's going to be... He should have been on his second year, should have been a Brownlow medalist.
Well, he shouldn't have been. He missed the last month.
What I'm saying is, that's my point. If he had played the last 4 weeks, if he didn't get his knee bloody taken out, he would have been fine.
He's a star. In terms of the Rovers and Rucks, we'll watch a bit of this.
But look at that. Like, he kicks goals too. Like, it's not, and he knows that he's a big time player. Nick Dacos.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What I loved about Nick, so the things that people give him shit about is that he gets short little possessions. That's him playing chess. We watched this game together Anzac Day last year.
Oh, it was fucking horrible.
He kicks 2 goals and gets a lot of contested ball when he needs to. He does what he needs to.
You know what? I would argue if you're in the right place at the right time that many times, you're a bloody good footballer.
That's why I want him on the half-back line.
All right, so we've locked him in. So
We already had him locked in.
you can't lock him into. He's not getting the ruck rover spot. So that has to leave.
So we're going Rover, Ruck Rover.
Yep.
Okay. Well, I think these are easy. And we're gonna. So as the followers, Dane Swan.
Swanee.
For 3 years, and we're talking about Gary Ablett Jr. Geelong, Chris Judd Carlton. Swan was in the conversation who's the best player. I think he had 8 or 9 games where he was getting 35 plus touches. And he was weird. He was another weird one too. They got a lot of weird sort of body shapes, how they move. He didn't look quick. But he was. He was very quick over a short distance. He didn't have great skills. But he knew what to do. And in question, that Anzac Day game where he kicked 3 goals, where he did play on the half-forward line. How many... I want to see his career accolades, because this is actually impressive. Premiership player, Brownlow medalist in 2011. Ironically, he should have won in 2010 and Judd should have won 2011. He's an MVP winner.
Mate, he ripped teams apart.
He's a coach's award. 5-time All-Australian. 1 on the bench, 2 in the midfield, 2 on the half-forward line. Me and you were talking about him as a half-forward. Not because he ever played half-forward. Well, he did towards the end of his career, but he was a lot.
He could lock down plays at the end. Yeah.
2-time Anzac Day medalist. Herald Sun Player of the Year. Lou Richards Medal of the Year. 3-time Best and Fairest. 3-time second. 3-time third. He was Collingwood's best finals player 3 times.
He was
Superstar.
so good.
He won a premiership in the VFL too.
You know what's funny? He didn't look like the player that he was. Does that make sense?
No, he was he was part of the Rat Pack.
But he was
highly intelligent and he looked like for someone. So you got Pendlebury and Buckley whose preparation would have been flawless. He doesn't look like
Dusty.
that.
It's like Dusty sort
Correct.
of like
Correct.
mindset and that
Yep.
sort of player.
But they were competitors as
Yep.
soon as the siren went.
100%.
I think he's definitely a lock. I generally think, and we're going to talk about Pendlebury, I generally think Swan's best was better than Pendlebury's. Pendlebury was never being considered for a few years as good as Judd and Ablett.
No, and I don't think... You know what the funny thing is?
It's different.
They're very different players. I just realised that's in the frame.
Sure.
Bank card. People just like, oh, yeah. Yeah, I feel like Pendlebury, most possessions in the AFL of all time. You would think that he's up in that contention, but he's just not. I don't think I have him up there. He's
Swanee?
There, yeah, no. Pendles. Swanee's best is better than Pendles.
Yeah, absolutely.
100%.
Absolutely.
You know what?
Hang on, this isn't a shit on Pendles.
Fuck no.
We're going to get to, this is where an interesting question when we come to the end.
So I think Pendles has had one of the most...
By the way, Pendles is a lock.
Yeah, Pendles
is a lock.
So what we've done is we've locked in, you've got Jolly, you've got Swan, and you've got...
Pendles is a lock.
Pendle.
He arguably... I don't think his best is the best that Collingwood's ever seen in this 21st century, but he's definitely achieved the most.
Yeah, without doubt.
And he's been...
Well, how old is he now? He's getting on with age. Like he's
breaking all the records. He's 2-time premiership player, Norm Smith medalist, captain for 9 years, coach's award. He's played the most games for Collingwood. He's got the most disposals of all time. He's got the most career tackles of all time. Would you think Scott Pendlebury's got the most tackles of all time?
Fuck no.
6-time All-Australian, 5-time BNF, 2 times AFL Players Association best captain. He was the coach's best young player. He's a 3-time Anzac Day medalist. Lou Richards medal. What more can you say?
Well, I'm letting his highlights do the talking because he's a superstar.
Let's just enjoy.
You know what's funny? He tears Essendon apart. Remember when he had the dreadies?
I did.
That was a different period of his life.
Doesn't suit his personality.
No.
Did you know he played basketball as a background?
Yep.
I think everyone's mentioned that every time Scott Pendlebury plays.
Think about
His
how
awareness.
he plays. He creates space.
Yeah.
Very good. He's not quick. He's like a Clyde Stallion, as I'd say. He doesn't move fast, but he can move and he can pivot.
It's
He's
like
very
his
agile.
brain's moving quickly. He looks like he's moving in slow motion.
And he knows how to. He maneuvers the ball so creatively that it's almost effortless for him. And you just like, how did he get out of that situation? He knows how to create space in other places. Like he knows how to balk. He knows how to fake. There's a lot of things that he's taken from basketball and really just ignited in the AFL. And that's why I think he has the most disposals, because people pass it to him. He gets the club out of situations.
He's gonna play 400 games this year.
He's gonna, mate. What's the all-time Australian? What is it? Because
Brent Harvey broke it. I think it's
it's over 400, just over 400.
Well, Fletcher played 4. I think 429. Fact check us, please, guys.
You know what's
I think
funny?
Tuck was 426 and Harvey had a couple of more games.
What's funny is Pendle's. I mean, guys, fit as a fiddle. He has every right to go on and play another 2 years of footy.
Of course.
Like literally, he could take out, and it wouldn't surprise me. Most tackles.
He's another one you could put on the half-back line. Just let the ball come to him and let him dictate. Absolute superstar. Absolute superstar. That is a good
that
midfield.
Fact, though,
This is
most tackles of all time. I didn't know that either.
I just looked that up. I had his stats here.
Well, he's definitely a lock in that Rovers position. He's 100%.
Well, I think we're done, and now we're up to
Well, no, we're not done. We haven't solidified our
Rocker
bench,
or Cloak.
and we haven't got our centre half forward. So we haven't figured.
We
it
have to
out.
do centre half forward first.
Yeah, let's. So who is it, Rocker or Cloak? I think personally, I would go Cloak.
Do you know what? Cloak's won a premiership. He's won 2 All Australians,
his team
and I
better.
generally think Cloak. What hurts me with Cloak is his kicking, which is super important. But we're gonna go Cloak.
We're going Cloak.
We're going Cloaky.
All right.
Now we can do the bench.
He's just written Loke.
Rocker definitely is in contention for that.
Oh, you would. One would assume so.
I think the bench, after looking at these, is going to be all right.
So, all right.
So bring up the bench list.
So, just hold up. We had Jolly. That was a lock. I'm just sorry, guys. We're going to go through. I just need to make sure.
So as a backup ruckman,
Dawes, was he getting any?
No.
No, he was not getting any bench time. Medhurst and Davies got the bench, so I'm going to tick them off. Rocker, he's going to get. Yep.
Yeah.
So we locked in him.
let's put Rocker in the bench.
Yep, we'll put Rocker. We're locked in those two. We locked in more. We didn't. All right. What I'm going to do. So we'll put Rocker. I'll tell you who we've got.
Okay.
So we got Wakeland, Maxwell, Prestigiacomo,
Prestigiacomo. Yeah.
Reed, the Courier, Thomas, N. Davis, Medhurst, Harry O'Brien, Ryan Loney, and I was going to say Sav Rocker, Anthony Rocker.
Anthony Rocker. Jeez, he'd be good. Hey, well, Anthony Rocker will be on the side.
Process of elimination.
Oh, well,
There's Matthew McConaughey says.
let's go position. Okay, so I feel Brodie Grundy goes in as a backup ruckman.
Just wait. I'm just checking. Who else? I didn't miss. So Brodie Grundy?
Yeah.
Yeah, we didn't add Grundy in there, did we?
He can go as a backup. Though he's not very good as a backup ruckman.
Wait, are we adding him into the team?
For the bench.
He wasn't even in the list.
We didn't say that he was. Just he can be. Absolutely deserves to be.
All right, so we're putting Grundy.
Yeah, as a backup.
Grundy. Thanks for bearing with us on this one, guys. This is not as easy as it looks. Grundy is definitely a lock on the bench.
Yep.
Okay.
Anthony Rocker is definitely a lock on the bench.
Okay, so Rocker gets a place on the bench.
So we've got a backup ruckman and forward.
Rocker.
Let's get it now. Let's get a midfielder and defender. So we've just got a back.
Okay, so out of the back line, we have Wakeland, Maxwell, Como, Reed, and Loney. And
I
O'Brien.
like Maxwell for
And O'Brien.
leadership. Premiership captain. Let's give it to him.
Yeah.
Watching this, please have a look. Please, this is generally for leadership qualities. I'd have him as an assistant coach.
But do we... Wait. Too many chefs in the kitchen. We've got Darcy Moore down there. What about Harry O'Brien?
I would rather Ryan Looney. We're going to get some dash. I don't want Harry O'Brien.
Tall. It's a pretty... Look, to be honest, if you want dash, then yeah, I guess Loney almost deserves that bench. But you want Maxwell. I mean, but Maxwell makes sense. Like, if you're looking at it, Maxwell has to be on the set. He has
I
to be
almost
there.
want him on there.
From a sentimental standpoint.
Think about the leadership qualities.
Okay.
We're going Nick Maxwell.
That was difficult. All right, so we've got
So
Grundy.
now we're picking a midfield.
All right,
midfield
what I'm going to
bencher.
do, I'm going to label out. So we want him. We're crossing out him. Como's gone. They're gone. Lucuria's gone. O'Brien's gone.
We've done
Daisy.
forwards. I'm happy with Daisy. He can spot everywhere. He can play in the midfield. He can go down back as he can do what he can go in the midfield, kick goals. I'm happy with that.
Thomas. This is a good looking team. It's actually really cool to see it to come together. All right. And then who's the captain? Who's taking captaincy?
All right. So there's between there's three legitimate options for the captaincy. And it's Buckley, Maxwell, and Pendles. I'm going to put Maxwell in terms of leadership is probably it's between Maxwell and Pendlebury. In terms of ability, it's Pendlebury and Buckley. I think you got to go Pendles then. He ticks both the boxes.
Yeah, I was going to say Buckley's very good, but like you said, I don't think he's as good as Pendles or Maxwell.
As a player,
as a captain.
As a player,
better.
Nick Maxwell doesn't have the ability, but he's got the leadership. Pendlebury's got both. I think we go Pendles.
Okay. Pendlebury. Oh, let's cut it off. Why has it done that? Dude, what? No. Okay, here we go. Perfect. Okay. Now, it leads us to our final spot. Coach.
Well, again, there's two, and I think it's going to be easy. I mean, McRae is coached 2 years. He's made a prelim final and a grand final. He could go down as a dynasty coach. But Mick Malthouse, you'd think he made 4 grand finals and won one. I think just on seniority, and Malthouse shouldn't have lost his job. Remember
So I'd put him in.
I'd put Malthouse in.
I'd put him in.
I'd put Malthouse.
That has to be.
You've got Ben Johnson, Swan. Who else? Sure, you got the Rat Pack in there. They need Mick Malthouse.
So that's it.
I think that's a pretty good side.
It's a bloody great side.
As can the viewers see what our final
The
team
viewers
is?
can see what the final team is. So the team of the century, you've got in the back line, back pockets, you got Johnson and Clement. Full back, you got Brown. Half backs, you've got Shaw and Nick Dacos. You've got centre half back, no other than Darcy Moore.
Yep.
On the wings, you've got Josh Dacos, and side bottom in the centre, you've got Nathan Buckley. Half forwards, you've got Didak and DeGoey. Centre half forward, you've got Travis Cloak.
Yep.
Forward pockets, you've got Leon Davis, Jamie Elliott, and in full forward, you've got Tarrant. Following in the ruck, you've got Jolly, got Swan, and Pendles. On the bench, you've got Grundy, Maxwell, Rocker, Thomas.
It's a pretty good side.
As the captain, you've got Scott Pendlebury, and the coach, Mick Malthouse.
It's a pretty solid
is
side.
a pretty.
I actually want people to argue, and we welcome it, by the way. We'd like to hear positive, negatives, debates. That's a strong side.
That has to be.
That's a strong side.
I'm saving the shit out of that. That's one of the coolest sides I've ever looked at.
It's a good side.
Like, I don't say that often. I don't really like Collingwood. I mean, you're a Carlton supporter, mate. I'm an Essendon supporter.
Collingwood, they're exciting to watch. And it's exciting to do this. You have a preconceived idea, and then you've got there's criteria. When you were watching them, how was it like with the eye test? What are their accolades? It was interesting to talk this through. The Cloak and Anthony Rocker one is still, for me, could go either way.
That's the only spot for me.
And that's not an insult. That's a compliment to both of them.
Yeah.
That's a compliment to both of them.
And Rocker's still got his spot on the bench.
Well, one of them was going to be on the bench, whoever. It was that hard to pick.
Some people will probably dispute the Grundy not on the start.
Well, the Grundy is a ruckman. Nick Dacos on the half back line. But looking at it, Buckley, Pendlebury, and Swan have to be in that midfield. And Nick Dacos, do you know what? In a few years, probably will be too. But he's played 2 years. He can't not be on the starting 22.
No.
Put him on the half back line. Mate, put him on the wing and put Josh on the half back line if you want. It's a good side.
Regardless, it's a good side.
It's a good side.
Looking at it, it's very impressed. Guys, what are your thoughts? We're going to leave it up one last time for everyone to look at. Have a quick little glance. Please comment. Did we get it pretty right? Is there anyone that we've missed? I don't think there's anyone we've missed.
I'd love to hear everyone's thoughts. I feel like there's a mixture of the old and the new. This is obviously, we've been doing our previews and we're racing against the clock to get our previews done by the opening round. I think we might be a bit too short.
No, we won't. We'll be fine.
But we are going to do this as sort of a separate series. We're not going to uphold to a timeline or anything. The next side we are going to do is Geelong. But please leave your comments. Do you agree with this list? Do you not agree with it? Is there sort of a debate here? Even if you want to take the time, put what your best 22 is. Happy to read it out. And anybody else who isn't a Collingwood supporter, put in who you like to review, because the most people, I guess, comments, we will look at that. If we've got a side, let's say Essendon, for example, we get a lot of people saying Essendon, we'll review it. The next one we're going to do is Geelong. From requests.
Well, they're a dynasty team.
And they're a dynasty team.
They've been such a synonymous team, and I think it's a no-brainer. Collingwood have the absolute right to go back-to-back this year. They've got an overpowered squad. Looking at this team, it's elite. Looking at their current team, it's elite. It's ridiculous.
It's just it's a really good exercise.
Yeah, and it's actually been a lot of fun going through and dissecting it all. So, guys, please leave your comments. Was it good to watch? Is there anything we can be doing to improve it? Because we want to make sure this is actually fun for you guys to be watching. And please leave your thoughts. As John said, make sure you're putting all the comments. If you genuinely don't believe that this is the best team and we've missed some players that are very crucial,
let us know.
Drop them in the comments. So, guys, is there anything else we need to share with them?
I think next we're going to be going back to our preview. So we'll be St Kilda.
Yep.
We'll go on to that. And please like, subscribe, and
ring the fucking bell. Now,
it felt weird.
It felt very weird. I don't know why you pointed at me for that one. Anyway, we are very, very keen, guys. We are launching. When do we start? When does the opening round start?
Opening starts next Thursday. So we will be previewing the Wednesday before every game.
So our new show starts next Wednesday, guys. We have a new show. The whole point of the previews, everything leading up and gearing up towards this 2024 AFL season. It is a big season ahead. The race to 17 premierships And can Collingwood do it? Or will Carlton sneak in and beat them to it? Or will Essendon
the
just
Bombers
be
come from nowhere?
absolute, nowhere. Who knows? But guys, it's going to be an absolute epic season. So guys, our new show starts next Wednesday. We will be putting it out on TikTok, Instagram, and probably Facebook as well. Jump on Facebook if you're not following, at Sports for Dummies, as our YouTube handle says. So we'll be putting out a time when we're going to release that as well. So thank you so much for watching. Like, subscribe, and
Ring the fucking bell.
thank you so much, guys. See you in the next one.
See you later.